The Canadian trucker convoy is 1.5 million people. I think it's 1.4 million people showed up to Ottawa, 50,000 trucks. You guys have seen these videos. It's unbelievable. It's as disheartening as it's been the past 2 years to watch the American people not push back enough against politicians, to see the American people allow the Biden administration and Gavin Newsom and Cuomo and Fauci and all the rest of these people impose unconstitutional, draconian, unscientific, impractical, wildly unpopular dictates over us. This will do the reverse. This will be a buoy in your heart. This will be so great. And what's even greater is in Saskatchewan, the premier there, his name is Scott Moe, he actually said that they're listening to these truckers. These truckers are protesting against vaccine mandates that would not allow them to come into the United States to deliver goods and services. And it's put a huge, huge burden on the supply chain in Canada as well, of course, obviously, because they can't cross from the United States back into Canada here. Well, the premier of Saskatchewan says this. Thank you, he says, for delivering the food and household products we all use every day, the parts and equipment that keep our farms and industries running, and every other kind of goods and products you can imagine. If you bought something today, a trucker delivered it, so thank you. Then he says this. The current federal policy does pose a significant risk to Canada's economy and to the supply chain in our Saskatchewan communities where you and I live. He's talking about the vax mandate. He says this federal policy will increase the cost of living, which is now rising at a rate that is creating significant hardship for many Canadians. That is why my government supports your call to end the cross-border ban on unvaccinated truckers. And it is why, in the not too distant future, our government will be ending proof of negative test or proof of vaccination policy in Saskatchewan. Again, I spend a lot of time criticizing politicians because they deserve the criticism, but we should also spend time when there is a politician who has gotten something right. We should give credit where it's due. And the Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe, even though he did what this is one of my pet peeves, when politicians say, well, I oppose vaccine mandates, but I just want you to know that I'm triple vaxxed. All my family members are vaxxed. It's my pet peeve. I hate when people give that caveat. Great, I don't care if you got the vaccine or not. Just oppose the mandates. Just stand strong against the mandates. And he did my pet peeve, but I'm going to give him a pass because he's listening to his people. He is rejecting tyranny in favor of freedom. You can contrast this with what's happening in Nova Scotia. The premier there, Tim Houston, is a tyrant who is fining citizens. There is a threat to fine citizens $10,000 if they gather in support of the convoy. Now, of course, they're presenting this as a highway blockade ban. They say allowing people to gather in these particular areas would put themselves and others at risk, to which I call absolute bullshit, absolute BS here. This is just a way for tyrants to stifle dissent, to silence their opposition, to force conformity and obedience to this authoritarian vaccine mandate, which does hurt the people of Canada and the people of America.